everyone! So today we're going to be taking a look at, it's kind of a roundup of the Fate figures I picked up so far this year, because some of them I've had for a little while, like this Saber Lily, I've actually had for a couple months. So yeah, just starting off with her. This is the, it's like Festival Portrait or Heroic Spirit, something, I'm forgetting the rest of the title, but this one matches, or inadvertently matches, the Arthur I unboxed like a year ago. I'd been eyeing her because she's super cute, and I love the anniversary figures of any sort. Doesn't matter if it's Miku, Fate, anything I collect really. I figured I'd jump on getting this Lily because it's super cute, and I don't really have like that many Sabers. I've only got the Fate Extella Link PE uniform one, which is super cute, and now this. So very excited to have her as part of my collection. I'm hoping someday I will find a spot that her and Arthur can be on the same shelf, but unfortunately because of the way that she's like kind of jumping up, she doesn't fit on the shelf Arthur's on because her balloons then are too high compared to him. So that's a problem. But next we have my Da Vinci figure. This figure came out in November. I think I sent her slow mail, so she did arrive like in February-ish, I think, if I've got the time right. But this figure admittedly wasn't cheap, but I really love her concept. I was surprised upon arrival that she has like this felt base. Just a little annoying for dusting, but I really like the felt base. It's really fun, and then I love the little books that are next to her. Well, little, but the book stacks next to her, they just add an extra charm and fit Da Vinci very well. And it's a pretty self-contained figure kind of for Fate, even though she's got her weapon still, which I really like that she comes with that. And this is like the Lily version, but the rider. And she is one of my favorite servants. Oh, and she's got her little mechanical bird, so that's really fun. And I actually have an Adelaire girl that I've been displaying her next to because they look really nice together with like the books, and I'm hoping someday they can go on a shelf that's with books in the background because I think they'll display really well together. But yeah, very nice figure, high quality, definitely love this one. I forget who made this one. The Lily, I think, was Good Smile. One thing I know about Da Vinci is certain areas of her outfit can be really annoying to dust, because there's not a great way to get anything to reach back there, so that is a little frustrating. But overall, not really a problem. This figure just showed up really recently. Now she does actually have her base, but I attached it to my shelf, so at the moment I'm just holding her. But it is the new Nero Claudius Venus silk, which I really love this figure, and I was actually comparing her with the old Nero that I showed off in a recent haul, the Fate Extra Nero, which it's interesting over the years she's kind of had her figures evolve with, she used to look kind of like a carbon copy of Saber, and then now she's got a very different, like, distinctive art style. I love her Hoge, but with cats, and 4 of them, it's very easy for it to just pop off. So that's really nice, and I appreciate that. I'm a little slightly disappointed that for some reason her hand doesn't, like, quite hold the rose properly. Like, it holds it because of how they mounted it, but her fingers don't actually, like, hold the rose there. So it looks a little weird, but at a distance does not bother me. And then her goblet is something that is like held by kind of gravity, but it does sit there. I got sick of bumping into her and knocking it out of her hand, or when I'm trying to move her around and it just falls out, so I used a little bit of the mounting putty I have and I just stuck it to her hand, because I mean, honestly, that's the only place it's ever going to be. Like, I'm never going to have it not in her hand, so just using a little bit there really helped that problem. So but they did a lot of really fine details. They gave her the little garter that she's wearing underneath the dress that you can see through it, and like the silk that she's wearing looks really nice, and there's so much different details on her. This figure also has 2 different face plates. So there's like her smiling and then her serious out face plate as well, so which I thought was really cool. And then the other thing about her is her base has it's another one of those felt bases, which looks really nice, and I really appreciate around her the way they did the marbling, like looks really good. Like I thought it was almost real marble. I mean, obviously not, because that would have been a very different price tag if it was real marble on the base, but it looked super lifelike, which was pretty awesome, because sometimes some figures try doing that and it's not really that executed well, so that was really cool to see on there. And then something I actually received more recently. Well, I got the Nero recently too. I've had them for several weeks now at least, but it is my Racing Astolfo and Jeanne scale figure, which I'm super happy about. I'm not really sure what happened to my original copy, but I ordered this one off of AmiAmi. They popped up brand new on their pre-owned section, so I just put in the order because I figured I can deal with the one that was MIA later and just get this, which it's all resolved, which is good. And I have been dying for this figure for so long. It's one of my favorite figures, kind of. I mean, I love the Fate Racing figures, and this is the 3rd trio I needed, or duo, because I have the Mordred, Jeanne, and Nero Tomo, but I was missing this one and I wasn't sure where it went. It was also literally one of the few Astolfo figures I didn't have it in my hand. So, really excited to have them here, especially since these are 2 of my favorite servants. It's a really fun scale figure. A little awkward to display, but once I found a shelf that they were great to fit on, because they have a pretty decently sized base. But once I found a shelf for them, they fit great there, and I love how I can tier them with other stuff too. So it's really nice. The only thing that I don't like about it 100% is this umbrella comes out super easily out of Jeanne's hand. Mainly, I've only noticed that from moving them around and just trying to get things to fit behind them, that I can knock that out pretty easy. And I have to admit, assembly was slightly difficult, just because they don't come on these tires already and their arms aren't already interlocked. But I kind of did it the hard way. I didn't realize that Jeanne's arm literally pops out of the socket, so you can just put Astolfo's arm there and then just pop it back in. It just didn't occur to me. And I forgot to look at the piece of paper. I haven't been looking at them lately because they've not been helpful. But this is definitely well worth price tag. I believe with shipping I paid $2.50 for them, which is a bit ouch, but I don't think it's too bad considering it is 2 character figures, which those are always really expensive anyways. And since these are 2 of my favorite servants, it was worth it to me, and my racing collection's in pretty good shape now. The only ones I'm missing, which I ordered, is the Saber Racing to match my Nero and Rin to complete the trio, and then I'm missing the Prisma Racing. So there's the 2 Ilias, and there's a Chloe. Alright, now a monsters figure that I have been hiding in the basement for quite a while now. I think she's literally been in there for years. And I don't know where I'm going to put her now that she's opened. But it's this beauty. And oh my gosh, I'm just... Oh, trying to knock things out with her apparently. But yeah, I love this figure. This is such an amazing figure. The base is such a high detail, like with the rock and stuff. Her armor, like, actually looks like she's been in war, which is really cool that it has all of that fine detailing. I was really impressed with, like, this is all, like, actual metal rod for her flag. The hair looks really nice. It captures her cynical expression very well. So this is an awesome Jalter figure to have. Absolute nightmare for your shelf, and she will never be going on that kind of bookcase right there, but she can enjoy being on top of stuff for quite a while because she's not graduating elsewhere. I've seen people fit her in like an IKEA case, but like the entire shelf is just her. But I believe this is Licorn is the one that made her. I'm not honestly familiar with them, but I was pretty happy with her. I know it's not a cheap figure, but craftsmanship's great on it, and they have plenty of support spots. There's a metal rod in this foot, as well as her other foot, and then her flag has a metal rod back here that goes in the rocks, and for holding her up, I didn't have it, but the flag also has an additional plastic pole that you attach back here. But it holds it up slightly, kind of like that. I think I have it at the wrong angle because I'm holding it up in the air. But yeah, she comes with plenty of supports, and it's a very solid figure, so, or I should say sturdy, so I think long term she's going to be safe too, which is really nice. And then I have 3 figures I'm going to unbox today as well. So the first up we have is the Master Saber figure. This is from the reprint run, so it does have Altria on the box because of the way they spell Artoria for Grand Order, because of some they translated Arthur into Japanese, and then when they're translating stuff, they translated it back into Japanese pronunciation instead of keeping it the way it was. Really dumb, but okay. I honestly am a pretty big fan of Jalter figures. Pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but in case you're new here, I really like them. Usually they're not too expensive, and they look really nice for what they are. The swimsuit Nero I held up earlier is an Jalter figure, and I've got a couple other different series that have Jalter figures as well. That's interesting. So she's got like, kind of hard to see, but there is foiling with her name, and it's like done in some marble base. But yeah, this has always been probably like my favorite Saber figure ever, so I'm so excited to add her. And it's such a nice like static scale figure that it's still got movement and stuff, but it's not going to take over your entire shelf, which I love, because I've got enough of shelf takeovers like Miss Jalter over there. But yeah, so here she is. I love her so much. I don't really remember the origins of this concept art, but I hope someday maybe they'll do something more with it, because I would love to see it a reality. I know there's plenty of doujins out there that focus on her as being the master, and they've made Muramasa the summoned servant, which Muramasa's base is Shiro, so it'd be really cool if they actually did something with that for real, instead of you have doujin content. But for now, I will just enjoy the scale figure and maybe find a doujins at some point. Next up we have is this Kis Ichiban Kuji figure, which I'm pretty excited about. This is her standard version for her outfit, and then I am excited for the Summer Queen, or I hate summer queens. But the summer version of Canis as well. There's two different versions. There's one that's a pre-painted scale figure, and then the other version's kind of like a model kit, which they've done that with a bunch of the Fate girls, which I'm waiting on. There was a Marie they did too for that line that I'm waiting for still. I don't really know where she is. Oh, so I was worried about Canis's base being massive, but this is actually cool that it's this. Because I'm kind of sick of seeing monstrous full-size bases. Though I did just realize that this is probably supposed to match up with, there's a Kurstaria, or however the fudge you say his name, but her master, because he had an Ichiban Kuchi too, but I don't like him enough to have a figure in my room, so they're not going to have a full base, but I think he's probably the other side. So that's cool if you like set figures, and usually I'm all for set figures, but I just, with him, it's a no. And man, Canis has some really sharp pieces on her hair, because I just about impaled my finger. I have looked at the scale figure before as well, but the scale figure is just, it's another scale figure. It's really expensive, and I figured an Ichiban would be a good compromise. Especially this one looks really nice, and I'm pretty happy with it. And it does not take over the shelf, because her other figure is kind of more like elongated, so I don't think it would display like super well, especially since my shelves are already jam-packed. So I am more than happy with this one. You can tell it's a prize figure, like, compared to the scales I've just held up, but for me, it looks good enough, and kind of saved myself some money. So, yeah. But yeah, here's a quick look of her, and I like that this is the version that has all of her armor pieces, which I think is 3rd Ascension, if I'm remembering correctly, and not, like, 1st Ascension, where it's, like, not that. And then last, but certainly not least, is my Winter Roma Nero Claudius. This is the first press one with her red sword, I believe. The second wave is supposed to be Bride in the winter outfit, because it's got, her sword is the white instead. But they didn't actually call it, like, Bride version, but like all of that is colored a little bit differently. I don't know I can't remember if the uniform changed colors, but yeah, I have been really looking forward to this figure. She's so cute, and it's such a fun, different figure, and that's something I really enjoyed about the Fake Stella Link release. The game itself was really good, but with that release, a lot of characters got new figures that or just very different outfits. Like, there's an Elizabeth swimsuit figure from that game. Saber has that PE figure. Those who were looking for new Gilgamesh ones, a couple more were licensed through that. I think one of the loungewear hawks came from that game too. Oh, I did not know this figure comes apart the waist. Just trying to figure out how to get the plastic off of her. So noted. I guess that means if you're a pervert, like, you could totally just display her without her skirt. I'm sure somewhere there has been someone that's done that. I will not, because I like the school. Well, I'm slightly concerned for my shelf with this figure. Good, the Hoge does not come off. Though it might come off if she hits an impact. Interesting for this figure, they have you add her scarf on yourself, so you have to, like, take the head off. Just a little nerve-wracking, but okay. And then her hand, the upper one here, does have a little hole for holding her sword in place, so it's not, like, freestanding up there. There we go, there's the Winter Roma outfit. which is super fun. And even though like she's kind of a little elaborate, like I really appreciate that they kept the space small, because that actually makes it way easier to find an actual home for her. And with the sword going up, I think that'll be a little bit easier to pose it like over people's heads and not be taking someone out, because some of these figures have been really annoying to find a home for lately. The figure company that made her is Quest Q, which I'm not really familiar with them once again, but she looks good enough to me, so I mean, maybe I'm just not that picky, but I mean, it looks really nice. I don't see any seam lines that are like to be upset about. Or even like her fabric of her clothing actually has seam lines like they would in real life, which is super nice. And it wasn't like hard to put back together either, so other bonus points too for that. Good thing I've been doing some cleaning to get new homes for all these boxes, because they've kind of been taken over. But yeah, anyway, so that's the end of today's roundup, which was a bit more figures than I was originally planning way back, and then it just kind of haven't been able to record it yet, and it kind of ended up like this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!